Hey everyone, this is Julian from Basecase, and today we are going through one of the probably most important reports business owners have to get a hold of their company's financials, which is the direct cash flow report. So, direct cash flow means we are using bank statements um, as the source of inputs to build out the report. We are not relying on accounting software. We are not relying on the general ledger. We are not relying on accountants' work. We are basically going directly to the source of inflows and outflows recorded in our bank accounts and using that information to build a financial picture for a company. So one of the two main benefits this particular reporting kind of reporting has is number one, since we are not relying on accounting information, we don't need to wait until the month ends to get to know what's going on in the company. That's number one, and it's super critical. Number two, since we are using and reviewing every single bank transaction that goes through the company's bank account, we can get very deep into the details of where money is going to. So this is particularly interesting in times where cost cutting initiatives are underway, right? So my recommendation for building this kind of reports would be first, define a layout that makes sense tailored to the business you are making. So in this particular case, we are dealing with a multifamily syndicator and operator. So we will see rental income as the main source of income. And then from there, we will deduct utilities payments, maintenance expenses, taxes, insurance, and everything that has to do with multifamily expenses. Second recommendation would be always separate movements from operating transactions, in this case, the ones that we were talking about just recently, from investing transactions. In this case, will be mainly capex. For instance, if we purchase something that some kind of durable goods for the improvement of the building, and also separate financing transactions, which would be capital contributions from LPs. Could also be loan disbursements or repayments from banks or interest payments as well. So keep those three categories clearly separated one from the others. And lastly, keep an eye for transactions between bank accounts. We don't want to double count transactions when they flow from one bank account to the other. That is super interesting. To make that happen, to make sure that we are not double counting, the fourth recommendation, or I think it's third, I don't know, but my next recommendation would be to have separate tabs for each bank account. So even though this is the consolidated tab and it's the main tab that we will use moving forward, in each case that we want to, for instance, project the future, or get a consolidated view of what's the total cash outstanding in the company. This is not this is anything else. This is basically the sum of all the individual bank accounts that this company has. In this case, this company has three bank accounts. It has bank account number one, which is basically a Bank of America bank account that it uses to collect rent and to pay operational expenses. It has a second bank account that it's basically more corporate related stuff. Here you will see that all rental incomes are zero, utilities paid are zero, basically because the company almost doesn't use this bank account. And the third bank account is the escrow account that the company used in the early days to purchase the company. So we are mapping out every single transaction that went through these bank accounts into the report, right? So my next recommendation would be, as you probably already saw, or maybe not, but is keep the layout consistent across bank account reports, right? So you will see that the consolidated bank account layout is exactly the same as the operating bank account number one, the operating bank account number two, and the escrow account, right? And the escrow account, right? This makes tracking and traceability much simpler because whenever we are building out the consolidated tab, we can directly um, add up the same cells in every single tab, right? It's always K11 where when we are getting to when we want to get the balance or the movements for October rental income from unit 101, right? It's always we are always referencing cell K11 in every single bank account. My next recommendation would be as well as you keep separate tabs for each bank account, also keep separate tabs for inputs and outputs. So in this particular case, this is the main operating bank account, but this tab only handles outputs or summaries or the data once that is already organized and structured in the way that we want to see it. The input tabs for this bank account is a separate tab. This is where I would paste the CSV data export that we get from the bank. And here comes my next and probably final recommendation. That would be for a specific bank account, especially those dealing with operations, it is useful instead of using labels to label the transactions we see every day and every single item, to keep separate columns, alternative columns to allocate those transactions. Because 90% of the time, transactions or records in the bank statement will correspond to a single transaction. But there are a few transactions, there are a few times where the money that we receive in a single transaction corresponds to several transactions. Take a look, for instance, at this line 37 or line 50, where we cashed in $5,200. If we had only a bank label, if we had only a single label, let's say rental income from unit 101, 102, 103, we will be forced to make an adjustment or to add separate lines to split this amount because this amount corresponds actually to three different rental units, right? So it's the rental from unit 101, from the rental from unit 103, and rental unit 105, right? So keeping separate columns that we can allocate the amount to gives us that flexibility. So that's it. Make sure to give me a follow on X. My Twitter handle is at getfinanceright. My name is Julian. It was a pleasure being with you today, and hit me up if you have any questions.